Alright guys, welcome back to the next video on the channel, and today what we're going to talk about is the adventure effect Roar of Time and how it can impact certain plays that you're doing on the game. So let's start off with the actual effect. So what this effect does is basically when you go to Origin Form DIALGA and it has Roar of Time, there'll also be an adventure effect at the bottom of the Pokemon page. As you can see on screen right now, you can hit use Raw Time for 5,000 Stardust and 5 Dialga Candy. That gives you 6 minutes of pause, I guess, on any of the items you've already used. So if you use a Lucky Egg and a Star Piece and your Adventure Sync all at the same time, if you use Roar of Time, that then pauses all them timers for 6 minutes. And it can go up to 2 hours, as you can see on screen, by using, I think that said 100,000 Stardust and 100 Candy. So it isn't a bad effect. It's actually really good and really useful, especially if you're trying to get those Galarian birds. Having that timer stop at 15, you can add it to 2 hours and 15, is actually really good, and it helps on things like Go Fest and community days, because you can get that additional incense that you might not want to buy, but you have the additional candy. So why is this so key for 2024 for Pokemon Go? Because it's kind of already given us new features in January that we didn't think were coming. No one knew that Roar Time was coming. No one knew that Spatial Rend was coming, or a feature like this was going to happen. Especially one as OP as this one, and also Spatial Rend. So I could understand if they did one item for Roar Time, one item for Spatial Rend, but they've given you every single item you use, and the Roar of Time just stops all of them, but the effects carry on. That's massive for any player who has this effect and has this Pokemon. It's so good of an effect that I don't see why anyone would even think about not going for it. Obviously, Spatial Rend does have its advantages as well, which we will go over in another video. We're not going to do it in this one. But having your items that you spent money on or coins on, and then you can use free-to-play items to extend them items. So even on Spotlight hours where there's 2 times Stardust or 2 times XP, you can use this, put a Lucky Egg on, and then extend it by half an hour, and that does the entire hour, rather than having to use 2 Lucky Eggs. It's a really interesting effect, and really looking forward to how they carry this on in the future. So you've obviously got Roar Time and Spatial Rend, that is Dialga and Palki's signature moves. But then you're going to have other Pokemon that have things like this. And how we're going to do it. Like, you could do Glaciate for Kyurem, which could do something else, like more ice Pokemon. Basically making them laws, but not laws. There's so much stuff they can do with it. It's really interesting. Now, you can extend the time of Raw Time's adventure effect in increments of 6 minutes. The timer can be extended up to 2 hours each time you use it. And then you can tap use again to add additional time up to 24 hours. Now, I don't know if that means that after the 2 hours you can do it again, or once you extend it by 2 hours you can tap it again and have it up to 24 hours. Which, that would mean you're using, it's 100,000 Stardust, 100,000 Stardust and 100 Candy for 2 hours. So you've got to do 12 times that. So you're looking at 1.2 million Stardust and 1,200 Candy to have it to 24 hours, which I don't think anyone will be doing. I also don't think anyone will be extending it to 2 hours either. But this is one of the perfect times that if you aren't doing Mega Pokemon, that you can add these Pokemon now as your buddy and start grinding the Stardust. Grinding the Candy for these Pokemon. And then by the time you get to this event, you should be stacked. And then do some raids, you get even more. Add a Mega Pokemon for these raids for definite. Remember, both of them are Dragon-type Pokemon, so you do not need to swap them out. So if I'd say Rayquaza, Mega, if you have them maxed out, At least then you're going to have a really good dragon type Pokemon to take these Pokemon down, plus have the effect of a max level to get extra XL candy and also extra candy. Roar time ends. The timer on any active items will continue to count down. The roar time cannot be active at the same time as any other adventure effect. Now, this is one of the ones that I don't like about this effect. So, you can have roar time active with an incense, but you can't double the amount of encounter size with spatial rend. Which, it sucks, but it's also there for a reason, I guess, so you can't be mega OP. But it is still an OP effect. Most of the time you will probably be using Palkia, I'm not going to lie, because you will not be using these items 24/7, and you will want the double encounter distance. So I would say get more Palkia candy than Dialga candy, because the way it says here, it can be activated at the same time as any other effect, or cannot be active. That means you can get the other one as well. So I think you might have to trade to get the other adventure effect. So if you are going to this event and you are going with friends, one of you needs to do Dialga, one of you needs to do Palkia. Just so you can have the additional move and effect. Also remember that Roar time cannot be learned after this event with any TM. That to me states that they will be bringing it back in the future. But for right now, even with an Elite TM, you cannot get this move. So it will be exclusive to this event. So always remember that, as it will come down to if you are able to get the move or not. Because it does say you have a chance to have one that knows Roar time, not a guarantee. Other than that, guys, I am going to leave this episode here. Thank you all for watching this video. Please leave a like down below. And also subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll speak to you all in the next one.